What's happening, YouTube? Back in the day gamer here. Thanks for tuning into my channel for this episode of Nes A-Z. As you can tell from the thumbnail, we've made our way to the letter S, and we're going to be featuring the game Spelunker. Now, why did I choose this game, you might ask? Is it because it's the best game in the Nintendo library that starts with the letter S? Absolutely not. Well, then why did I pick it? Because when I got my Nintendo back in the day, this was actually the original game that I purchased. Sort of. What does sort of mean? Well, let's jump into it and find out. So today I'm going to be taking you back to 1989. I was in 6th grade. Went to Hill's department store. Remember Hill's department store? Anybody? That was where I purchased my original Nintendo Entertainment System and most of the games I bought until every store on the planet started carrying games. Well, believe it or not, back in the day, you could actually return a game if you didn't like it.
What?
Yeah, I know. I said you could return a game back to the store if you didn't like it.
What?
I said you could take the game back if you didn't like it.
Okay!
The day that I went to the store and got my Nintendo, I actually picked out Spy Hunter. Because I'd played it in the arcade, in the sit-in cabinet with the steering wheel and the gas pedal and the shifter knob, which only went to low and high, it wasn't gears, but either way, that was the game I picked to purchase the day I got my Nintendo. I took it home, and obviously, like most ports, it's not very good. I was pissed off, so we took it back, and for whatever reason, I picked Spelunker. Spelunker's a platformer set in a cave where the player starts at the top and has to make their way to the treasure room all the way to the bottom. You walk, jump, and climb your way through obstacles, all while having a limited supply of air, which is more or less a timer. Now, when I mentioned I took Spy Hunter back, it was because I didn't like the controls. The game plays super fast, so the controls are really touchy. Well, apparently, I was having a knack for picking games with touchy controls. Because, yeah, wow. Spelunker's controls aren't bad, but saying they're touchy is a massive understatement. You have to be pixel perfect, spot on, every jump, rope climb, and movement, or you're dead. Another thing that Spelunker doesn't have going for it is that it's one of those games where you can't fall more than half the length of your sprite or you die. Not a good trait for game. So because of these things, the game can be damn hard. I remember not even being able to get through the first 30 seconds of the game without dying at least once for the longest time. But when you do finally get the hang of it, which only took me 10 or 20 years, it's solid fun. I've always really liked the color palette for this game. There's lots of things that just really pop. The purple of the ladders, ropes, minecart tracks look great against the gold of the cave walls. The straight Mario sprite ripoff looks pretty good as well. I always thought it was funny the way he climbs the ropes. There's really only one enemy in the game, which is a guest appearance by none other than Slimer from the Ghostbusters. You'll know he's approaching before he even gets onto the screen because the music changes to this ominous tune. When he does appear, this is the one and only time you use your gun. It seems like they could have really benefited from a cave lizard or a rat. But hey, I didn't make this thing, alright? I'm just doing a quick review 30 some years later, okay?
Okay!
So the meat of the game is that you need to collect the keys throughout the whole cave system to get past the red and blue barriers to make your way through sections of the cave and finally to the treasure at the end. When and if you do make it all the way to the treasure at the end, you get your standard fantastic congratulations now start over screen. The game then, of course, starts over. It does change the color of the cave, which doesn't really add much, but also makes the air timer deplete faster and makes the keys invisible. Once you flip the game a second time, I don't know what the hell happens on the third phase because the invisible keys aren't even in the same place anymore and they're invisible and I couldn't seem to locate a single one and it made me lose interest. Which therefore means that's bringing us to the end of this video because I didn't play it anymore. In all actuality, that was pretty far. It took me many, many years just to flip the game once. By then you got the hang of it, and flipping it the second time wasn't that hard because the invisible keys, while invisible, are still in the same places that they were when you could see them. But in that third phase, I'm not sure what happened, and I don't think anything's going to change. Whether you flip it 10 times, you're still going to get that fantastic congratulations screen. But all in all, Spelunker is a solid game. Most of you probably never heard of it, played it. If you did, you threw it in once and you're like, man, this game sucks. If you give it a little bit of a chance, the game actually doesn't suck. I played the shit out of it, just practicing for this and, thinking what I was going to say. I'm probably going to play it again now because since I've admitted it to you guys that I gave up, it's putting foot to my ass that I've got to at least beat phase 3. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So final thought, Spelunker's definitely worth a try. It's a super cheap game. Yes, I like it because obvious nostalgia, but it's not bad at all. It's got a lot of good things going for it. Just give it more than 5 minutes to get used to those controls. So that's a wrap for this episode of NES A-Z. We've made it through S. Who wants to make a suggestion for what we're gonna play for T? Is that what comes after? R-S-T. Yeah, for the game that starts with T. Who's got a suggestion? First one to drop it in the comment section below. That's what we're playing. So thanks for tuning into my channel. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And until next time, YouTube, keep it retro!